I bought my first motorbike at the start of this year, a Honda CB125F, and I absolutely loved that bike. But only 6 months later, something awful happened, and it completely changed my experience of riding motorbikes. This is my story, what happened to my CB125F, and the lessons I learned that I want to share with other new riders. Stay tuned to see my experience from buying the bike all the way up to what happened 6 months later. I still remember the day I bought my bike. I bought it online on an eBay auction directly from Honda. I was buzzing that day, and when I found out that I'd won the auction, I was so eager to get going and go and pick up my bike. I looked after my bike, I serviced it, I cleaned it, I took extra care of it, and I bought all the tools and did all the jobs myself. However, in 6 months, I only managed about 600 miles. It wasn't a lot of miles, but I got a lot of experience from it, and every single ride out was important to me and my learning. And the CB125F is such an amazing learner bike. I've shared some videos showing some of the positives of the bike and some of the things I would like to change, so feel free to browse my content and see my thoughts on the bike. It's extremely smooth, easy to ride, it's reliable, and it's a perfect beginner's bike. I'm going to share some footage from the day I went to pick up my motorbike. Today I'm on my way now to go down to the sports bike shop, pick up some more gear. I've got my basic essentials. I've just done my CBT about 2 weeks ago. Alhamdulillah, it went very well. I think I'm quite confident on the bike, but you know, there's always space for learning, so I've decided to pick up a 125cc CB125F. It's not the sportiest bike, guys, don't laugh at me. I picked up cheap on an auction on eBay directly from the Honda dealership. So I'm gonna go and just pick up some more safety gear. Just gonna get myself a jacket, maybe some trousers and some locks for the bike. If you're riding, always have gear, make sure you got your right gear on. After that, I'm gonna go over to the dealership in Blackpool, and I'm gonna pick up my first bike, and I'm gonna share my experience with you guys, so stay tuned. We have finished the shopping. I've got all my gear. I've come out with a jacket, some pants, got all the locks and everything, got a pin lock visor for my helmet, and we're going to be heading towards Blackpool now to try and pick up the bike. So safety is number one priority, and that is put in place, and we're going to be heading back to home with it. So I'll catch you when I'm at the bike store. Guys, we have made it to Honda Blackpool, and we're gonna go and pick up my bike from inside here. So excited. Guys, I'm annoyed. We've just been into the Honda dealership, and I paid my deposit before, and I told them I'd pay the rest of it when I get here. I've got here, paid it, and he goes, I can't have it because they can't check the bank accounts to see if I paid it or not. What a shame, I should have just held on to it. Wow, that is really frustrating. But they said they're going to deliver it to me for free and get some L plates on it for free for me anyway, so it would have cost me what they quoted as £35 to put L plates on, which you can probably get from corner store anyways for like a couple of quid. But yeah, so I don't get to ride it today, and the weather was really nice, so I'm gonna have to wait till I get back from holiday and just ride it at home. Kind of defeats the first ride experience home from the dealership, which I wanted to record. But you know what, we'll continue with it when the bike does come. We can do a first ride from the van to my house. I bought my clothes. I was literally just spent like a couple of £100 at the bike shop, well excited to buy my bike, and all I had to do was, they told me come in any time. They said it's ready for you to collect. So if you can't, like, it just seems a bit stupid that you can't check bank accounts on a weekend. Like, bank, I don't know, it is what it is. But yeah, just awkward, but I've been patient. When things are supposed to happen, they will happen, and we'll get to enjoy it then. So as you can see, just the first day going to collect my bike was a roller coaster of emotion. I was so excited and just wanted to collect my bike and ride it back from Blackpool. However, it turned out to be a very frustrating situation and really tested my patience. And I think it was very good because it allowed me to sort of calm myself down, so I wasn't going to do anything stupid riding the bike back home. But I really wanted to get some footage to show you my first experience driving from the dealership. You probably see loads of videos on YouTube, and I couldn't quite capture that. But I'm hoping that my story and what happens later on can really bring to attention some of the problems that we have with motorbiking in the UK. During the entire time that I had my bike, I was able to persuade one of my friends to also go into CBT, and he ended up picking up a motorbike, and I went out on one ride with him. That was the only sort of ride out I had with somebody else. Right, I'll just show you the footage of when we sort of got together with our bikes and show you both of the bikes off. What's up everyone, we are back again with the CB125s, and today we have got an edition of another bike belonging to Mr. Abdul Muttalib here. I managed to persuade him to pick up a bike as well. So this is his first proper ride out with one of the boys today. We're going to be heading out somewhere, we don't know where, we're just going to go where the wind takes us. That's it. And enjoy the lovely weather we've got today in the UK. This is such a stunning bike he's picked up. He's picked up the same one as mine, slightly newer, in black. Got a nice little top box with that. Very functional, and I might need to add one to mine soon. Being able to go for a ride with my friend was definitely one of the most peak experiences of having a motorbike. It was just so much more enjoyable and fun to be able to share that experience with someone else. We were both new riders, so he was learning things from me and I was teaching him some tips and tricks as well. I think the most beautiful part about owning a motorbike is the community that you're welcomed into. People are more than happy to help you, guide you and teach you. There's so many resources online, including forums and groups which you can find on Facebook, and so much videos out there that can help you with things like learning to ride your bike, learning to service and fix your bike and maintain your bike, and can give you guidance on so many aspects of motorcycling which I'd never ever thought I'd ever come across before. Everything from the choice of bike to the choice of gear to how you should store your bike to the places you can go and ride out to. And I think one of the most important parts of community which I've experienced is definitely that in my YouTube comments. People have been so vibrant, they've provided so much knowledge and wisdom in my comment sections, and I love it when people come together and they're able to share their experiences and tell me about the bikes that they've just bought at the same time as me. And it's nice to see that it's not just people in the UK, it's people from all over the world. As a community, we experience a massive problem in the UK, which I'm going to touch on further in the video. I completed about 600 miles on my bike in the 6 months that I owned it. I took extreme care of my bike and I really looked after it, and I made sure I did everything I could to try and keep it safe. However, it did not stop people from putting their eyes on it. There is a massive problem in the UK where bikes are being stolen left, right and centre, and if you live in a city, it is practically impossible to keep a bike if you don't have proper storage. Now, I knew that there was a risk that someone would try and steal my bike, and I was always cautious about this. I utilised all the security equipment I could. I used a chain, a really thick chain. I used a disc lock. I covered the bike. I put it away from prying eyes. I ensured that nobody would see me coming in and out of the property as much as possible, and just kept myself to myself. I always kept my face covered with my visor whenever I was in the area. At around 5 o'clock in the morning, two young lads tried to climb over the fence and try and get to my bike. At this point, they had already tried to break the lock using bolt croppers for about 10 minutes. They failed comedically, but as you can see, they now try and jump over the fence. The fence is at least 2 meters tall. They both jump over, and then we see what they do next. So they approach the bike, which is covered by a bag cover, putting a gap between the shed. It's not something you would easily see, and it's definitely something they've planned in advance, especially with the fact that they've come with tools. So you can see one of them's looking at the back, at the chain, and one at the front, and they immediately left. Now what happened? Why did they leave? What made them pull a U-turn? Well, firstly, I had the alarm dislock on. That was definitely the deterrent in this situation. I've got family at home, vulnerable elderly people. They would be shocked and afraid if they knew what was happening at that moment. And the fact that these people think they can just simply walk onto your property and try and steal your bike is absolutely crazy. And the reality is there's no consequences for people like this. As soon as they saw the deterrence, they pulled a U-turn and they left. And for me, that is the most I can do within my control. If someone's determined, they will take your bike, but you can make it as difficult as possible for them, so they will just leave it alone. If you give them an easy opportunity, that's what they'll take. So if they didn't steal my bike, why don't I have it anymore? What happened to it? Well, at the time, as it was my first bike, insurance was very expensive, and the only option I could have found which was suitable for me at the time was third-party insurance. Third-party insurance means that if anyone damaged my bike, I would not be able to recoup any costs through the insurance company. Now, in terms of riding it, if I had damaged the bike, I was more than happy to take the loss on the chin. However, if someone stole my bike or damaged my bike, I would be extremely upset, and it's not something I wanted to risk. I was lucky in this situation because they walked away. Had it been someone spiteful, they could have easily damaged the bike and then gone away knowing that they can't have it. In this situation, they left it alone, but I was still worried that they may be back with a different set of tools and a different plan. So I put the bike away indoors. Now the problem with that is I would never really take it out after that, because it was just too much of a hassle trying to get it in and out of the house. I don't have a garage unit, and I had a storage unit, but it was full at the time, so I didn't really know what to do with the bike. But in the back of my mind, I knew that I wanted to upgrade, because the 125cc is really good for beginners, but I did need a bit more power. So it was almost an excuse for me to sell it. However, I would have really liked to keep it for a few more months to get some more experience, but I ended up making the decision to sell it at the time, and I managed to find a buyer who was willing to pay me a very good price for it. And this is another reason why I say go for your Japanese bikes, your Hondas, your Yamahas, Kawasaki's, because you will usually get back your money and you'll get really good resale value on it. Now, I did report this incident to the police, and the response they gave me was that the two fellas had not actually attempted to steal the bike because they walked away and left. This is a very grey area in the UK. Unfortunately, in the UK, which is a developed nation, there is a lack of common sense approach. The working person is penalised while criminals basically walk free and are free to do as they wish. The services are stretched, and unfortunately there's not much that can be done in this situation. You have to do what you can to protect yourself. It's a very sorry state that everything's in. However, this is what it's got to. So in summary, my entire motorbike journey has had loads of highs and loads of lows. I remember going for my CBT and being turned away on the same day because it was way too icy. And now going through all of this with buying my bike, having to turn away at the dealership, and then potentially having it stolen, and then having to sell it in the middle of summer when I really want to enjoy it, has been a big mixed bag of emotions. But I do want to leave it on a positive note because I have got an update, a very important update. So I'm going to be doing my direct access course this week, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I can pass my mod 1 and mod 2 first go, and then I will be able to ride any size motorbike in the UK. Now, it's easier said than done. Trying to get hold of certain bikes can be very difficult, and insuring them as someone who currently has zero no claims discount because I had to cancel my policy after I sold it. It's going to be a bit of a challenge, but I'm going to see what's available. I've got a couple of months to think about it. I might not go and get it straight away as the winter month is coming and it's going to be cold, and I don't really want to just leave the bike stored in the cold. So keep an eye on this space, and you're definitely going to see me in an upgraded motorbike soon. Leave me some notes in the comments about what bikes you recommend. I've been looking at the SV650 by Suzuki, which I do really like the styling of, and I think it's got enough power. I've looked at some insurance quotes. If you've got some ideas of any other bikes I might enjoy, let me know as well in the comments below, and I'll be trying to respond to all of you. So thank you again for all your engagement, everyone, and listening to my story. Leave a like and share with friends and family if you really enjoyed it. This is a picture that was taken on my 125, and I will dearly miss it. Maybe one day I might go and get another one. So on that note, thank you for watching the video. Take care and ride safe.